Well, good morning, good morning, family. It's yours truly, Joe Dupree, in the building from 100 BLK, the Black Station, on this 10th day of October. Yeah, man, the day after Hurricane Milton, over 3 million people across Florida are without power. They're making an assessment right now. Hopefully, there was no major fatalities. There were many deadly tornadoes associated with this hurricane. I'm not in here by myself. I got my brother from another mother. You know him from the Open Line Online and keeping it real with Reverend Al Sharpton, 1075 WBLS in New York City. It is Brother Fatim on this Turn Up Thursday. Turn down for what? Good morning, my brother. How are you doing?
Good morning, Joe. Good morning. And unfortunately, there's numerous deaths in Florida. So we'll assess the situation and see what happens. But, there are deaths that's already been reported.
We send out our prayers and condolences of those who have transitioned on from this horrific storm. I'm still confused when it comes down to the governor of Florida. Seems to be he stands 10 toes down that he just got it, man. Florida really don't need nobody. He got the resources in place, and it's kind of like he's being a little bit defiant toward any federal assistance. That's confusing to me, in my opinion, because I believe all money is good money, especially when it's to help out people when they are going through traumatic times. But it is what it is. Another storm.
I don't like Governor DeSantis, but he spited the vice president, but he did speak with President Biden, and he did say that that line of communication was open. The president spoke yesterday, so not to turn it political, he has not turned down federal assistance. He did speak with President Biden. He just did not deal with
the VP.
Vice President. Yeah, and she is not the president of the United States. She is an olive branch, and she's the right arm of the president. And we do know that's politics. But right now, I don't think folks right now want to hear nothing in Florida about Republican or Democrat. Right. They need assistance if they do, and that's it.
Right. They need assistance and aid. So you heard of Ike and Tina. It seems to be Florida is getting ready to deal with Milton and Nadine. Because just like Ike and Tina would tear it down, it looked like Milton and Nadine going to do the same thing. There is another storm that will probably take the same path of Milton, which will be named Nadine. What in the hell in haberdashery is going on here? And good morning to some folks. Hold on. I'm remiss. I just put it up there. Let me put it up there again. My good brother, Omar Muhammad, in the state of Illinois, in Chicago. Good morning to you, my brother. Good morning, Sister Drake Watson. Good morning, Sister Laura Bell. Be exact, I need to call somebody this morning. I was supposed to call somebody yesterday and did not call them, and because we ran out of time in the show, and I will do that today. And listen, family, the phone lines, let me open up the phone lines. Let me do that while we're at it. The phone lines are open. 225-250-8770, 225-250-8770. If you call and I don't answer, I'll call you back. That's what I'm going to do on this Turn Up Thursday. And big ups to the man. I saw it. Look at him. Hold up. We really hold it. Let me get
New York Mets, New York Yankees. That's it. New York Mets won, going to the National League Championship Series. New York Yankees beat Kansas City Royals. They won game from the American League Championship Series. And the Mets will be playing either San Francisco or the LA Dodgers.
Okay. Let's go baseball. Let's go baseball.
And on the heels of that, the New York Knicks are rolling, boy, with they start 5. So baseball and New York sports is. I got my Met hat on too. I forgot I got another.
Go on, and you got your BLS shirt on. I like where I
New
need
York,
my
baby.
I need a BLS shirt too. I know you're supposed to take care of me, brother.
Yeah,
so listen, I'm starting to fall in love with different sports, and I've done a lot of HBCU sports in my lifetime. Starting with my journey at Grambling State University, I have for the first time started doing volleyball, and I'm starting to fall in love with volleyball collegiate volleyball. I have listened, man. It is exciting. I am really loving covering these collegiate volleyball games. And I did my first high school volleyball game last night where the Southern Laboratory Kittens, because Southern University has a high school and a laboratory school that's connected to it for the for folks in high school. And yeah, they're called the Kittens. Since they're the Jaguars, the Southern Jaguar Laboratory School is the Southern Lab Kittens. So yeah, yeah. And hold it, but they were unsuccessful in trying to beat West Feliciana last night. They lost. Actually, it was 3-1. But high school volleyball was good, but I'm really loving collegiate volleyball, and it is getting to be my new passion to cover that sport. And of course, I've covered soccer. I love soccer. I always did. I'm a big soccer fan. I just don't let folks know that because a lot of folks look at me kind of sideways, like, how can you watch this? But I was a big soccer fan from my military days. But it's just wonderful, as you say, to cover more sports than just the one sport that we talk about all the time, which is, of course, football in America. And it's going to be an interesting.
And remember, baseball is American sport, not football. Remember,
Right. You know, and I used to play like you. I used to play baseball. I played actually up into my collegiate days, and played 2 years in college. And you know, it's a great sport. It was the sport I grew up on. It was the one we used to walk for miles. I literally, because my mom and dad didn't have a vehicle, and the baseball diamond was, I think, about 5 miles from my house. Me and some friends used to walk to our games, you know, and the coach would sometimes bring us back home after the game, but we would walk to games, we would walk to practice, you know, and we used to be so much healthier back then because we did a lot of that, Brother Fatim. We didn't, you know, we walked places, we rode bikes, that was our pastime. You know, when you wanted to know, you didn't have a locator on a device like this. You wanted to know where your friends were at, just see where all the bicycles were in the yard of. You know, I remember a friend of mine getting an Atari system. And then I got an Atari. I think I was one of the people who also got one. And that's how you knew, you know, people, when they plugged up, people were playing Pong. You have a whole bunch of kids in the front room. We playing Pong. You know, who's next? We go into the arcade, things of that nature. Many things have changed since the days of the 70s and the 80s as we continue to grow, evolve, and evolution takes place. And what was new back then is old today. You know,
well, it's interesting. It's interesting, Joe. So last night I was on the phone. Everybody don't even know. They know who I was on the phone. And on a serious note, I'm a New Yorker. I don't give a damn where I live. I'm a New Yorker. And in South Carolina, people get in their car and they go where they, you know, it's not like a corner store here, there. But I live near a gas station, which is a convenience store as well, you know, and they stay open to 11. And then on Friday and Saturday, they stay open to midnight. So I decided to walk to the store. I just don't believe getting in my car. I sometimes at the laundromat, then I walk over to the post office. You know, I walk because we have gotten so to the point of just being lazy. You know what I'm saying? Just being lazy. And so I walk, you know, and I appreciate the concern that my friends, I just like it's truth, Casey. And her concern was, you know, be careful. And I was like, yo, well, down here, I can carry. So I said, let me put this on my hip just in case, because I may not run into some brothers on the corner, but I could run into an alligator walking down the street or something like that on a serious note. So,
Wildcats.
Okay, well, that's why I'm saying I don't want to get caught out there and say, it's upstairs, you know. But, you know, for me, it was refreshing. It was a nice night, little breeze in the air, and I just walk. And I will also ride my bike. Now, I have not rode my bike since I've been working out, but I just need to put air in my tires because I'll ride my bike when it's cold. I'll put a hoodie and a jacket on and ride my bike because I'm a New Yorker. We rode our bikes in the winter, you know. I mean, not in ice and snow. I mean, we have done some stupid stuff too as kids, but, you know, we're not kids. And I have a question. Not yet. I'll let you finish going through anything else you want to raise. But I do have a question because my cousin hit me with something last night, and I'm gonna bring it up, and I want to talk about.
So let me go through this right quick to let folks know I did it earlier today than I normally do it. You might be bold enough, as some of our listeners are. Jules Wall is one of our bold listeners, and I love Jules for this. Jules is not ashamed. She will come on, she will get herself together, and she will come on the actual live feed. This is available not only for Jules, but for everybody who's in the live feed. I put the StreamYard link out there. Now, what you'll have to do is disconnect from the live, but you can click on that link. It will walk you through on how to come on screen. And if you want to come on screen on this Turn Up Thursday, turn down for what? And just say whatever it is you want to say. And you want the folk out there in podcast land to see your beautiful or handsome face, you're welcome to do so. That's if you don't want to call in. We have Brother Washington, because calling in from Europe is quite expensive, and I do not have a WhatsApp line connected to the podcast. But he often, and we enjoy Brother Washington when he comes on, because he definitely gives us an insight from a different perspective where we can comment on whatever subject is that he would like to bring up. And we extend that olive branch out to everybody who's a part of this podcast. This podcast is just not me, Fatim, Sister Jax. This is all of us. And if you want to come in, if you can call in, but if you want to come in, you're welcome to come in. As you know, we have the doctor, we have Sean P., we have Alethea Crimmins, we have other elements that come on also. And we're going to start very soon. We don't know what, but we're going to start doing the kind of name that tune type thing. So, just know that a lot of stuff is happening, and we are continuing to move forward with conversation for every situation and chatter that matters right here on hashtag Truth Be Told. We're broadcasting live on Facebook, we're on Instagram, and we're on YouTube. And let me put up the links right quick. There you go. On Instagram at the JDMS. On YouTube, it's at 100 BLK Media. And you can definitely go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. We would very much appreciate that if you did that. At 100 BLK Media, we are seeing the subscriptions go up, so you'll know what's going on with us. And you can always go to the website, THE100BLK.com. You can catch the open line onlines from there. You can catch up on all HBCU sports, because I have a smorgasbord of sports. You can catch up on Black news, Black entertainment. You can catch two of the hottest digital stations out there, which is Vibe 95, Caribbean, and Afro Beats, along with 100 BLK, the Black station itself. So that's about it. Let's go, Brother Fatim. However you want to go on this Turn Up Thursday. Right. Turn down for what? Let's go.
All right. So first of all, let me just say this. So folks that know and visit my Facebook page, I put up a lot of stuff. I put up reels. I put up things that make you think. I push things. Yesterday, I put up, about the Mets. I put up the Mets winning the other night. And then, of course, last night, beating Philadelphia to move on to the National League Championship Series. I've also shared something because New York, WBLS is celebrating 50 years. This is our 50th anniversary this year. I shared something with one of our legends, the late Frankie Crocker. I shared that. Last night, I put up a video with women that I got. Some of these women I know and some I don't. That I've gotten from social media. It's already posted, right? Nobody, it's sexy. It shows, but it's not being disrespectful. So I get a text from my cousin last night. So she said, and I love her. There's no ifs, ands, and buts, but she said, "Are you sipping tonight or smoking?"
What?
And then say it again. She's watching. She knows who she is, and I love her because this is my cousin who taught me the ropes. I go to the end of the world for my cousin. So this is something that made me think, and I'm gonna bring this up. She said, "Oh, you sipping tonight or smoking? You and them reels a bit much." I think you going through a midlife crisis. She laughed. You know what I'm saying? And I came back, I said, not sipping tonight, last night, the other night. You understand? So it made me think, and I go back to do this. I thought, and I thought about this when I turned 30. when I really, you know, when I turned 30, how would I be when I get older? Do I have to change who I am? Do I have to change the way I dress? You know, because you got to realize since my 20s, I threw on suit and tie. I worked in corporate America, and the lights keep blinking, and we ain't got no storm there, us.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. So I wore suit and tie, but I always like to dress casual. I mean, of course, I'm in my house, but I have shorts on. You know, I wear shorts all the time. I don't work in corporate America, but I make more money than when I worked in corporate America. I live who my life is. And then, like I said, I worked around a lot of people in the entertainment. I'm on radio, y'all. I'm not in corporate America. In radio, we can dress comfortable. We can move as we are. And as I got older, you know, I still wear my shorts. I still wear my sneakers. I stayed up to date. I stayed hip because I'm in the music world per se. I work for a station that is R&B in New York in the #1 market and our hip hop station. So we get all the artists from Cardi B all the way up to Charlie Wilson. You understand? So we deal with this. So it's that kind of handshake. So I'm like, is this? And so I thought about this last night and I said, I'm not stopping because this is who I am. And is it a midlife crisis? What is a midlife crisis? I'm not trying to be 25, but I've always been around beautiful women, always been around beautiful women. Even when I was married, in my house, 2 doors down, 2 young ladies were in videos that used to come to our house and help Hanifa out. I had calendar girls that were on calendars that would be in my house, in our house. So this is nothing new. So I'm going through a midlife crisis. No, I'm not laughing because at the end of the day, this is who I am. And I thought about it last night. So I ain't changing for nobody. I like beautiful women. I'm single. Hold on. I'm not disrespectful. I'm not lying to nobody. Wait, let me just finish this. I'm not lying to no one. I'm not being disrespectful. So what's the point? I'm not chasing. I can't help that I communicate with a lot of young people. I ain't trying to get with no 22-year-old woman. You understand what I'm saying? But the question is, what is a midlife crisis? You know, because I'm not trying to be that, but I'm being who I am. This is who I am. You understand? And this is who I'm going to be till the day I die.
Brother Fatim, I appreciate you coming on here saying all that. I really think it was unnecessary because they should mind their good business like you doing whatever it is that makes your life happy.
Well, it's not about me. It's about what is a midlife crisis, and is there a certain way? Again, I can fall. Joe, you know how we roll when we was at Essence. We comfortable. We can roll with the big dogs. You know, I meet with governors, mayors. I've been in the White House. You understand? I know how to roll with that.
We've all been in these places. I tell people to this very day, you know, I laughingly yesterday brought up to a friend of mine because we were talking about situations, and he had the honor and the privilege of running into my older son's mother, and he said, "Man, where did you meet her at?" And I said, "This is gonna make you laugh." I said, "She worked for the German consulate, and I was on duty in the military." And I said, "Actually, we met in England at the English ambassadors. He had a some type of gathering. I forgot what the gathering was, but I said it was a gathering for the Queen and some dignitaries." I said, "I never got to see the Queen, but she was like maybe 2 or 3 rooms over." I said, "You know, we world traveling folks. We just not to the area that we are confined to, called this little place on earth that some folks never leave from. You know, man, you're gonna be who."
Well, let me put that question out. Let me just put the question out.
I don't know what. Listen, somebody told that to me one time too, because all my life I've liked certain type of vehicles. And they say, "Oh, bro," and this was funny. This is even when I was young. I was like, "Wait a minute, I just like this type of car." But when you get older and you wind up trying to buy that type of car, like one of the first cars I bought not too many years ago, really about 13 years ago, and it wasn't for me. It was really for my better half. Was a 350 Z convertible, a Nissan. You know, and somebody said, "Oh, what are you trying to do?" Man, it's just what I like. You know, it's not a midlife. I don't know what this midlife crisis thing is. You know, it's like, do you dress a certain way? You know, you like what you like, and that's what you like. You know, people need to stop that. Now, some folks may do what they do to impress folks or to do stuff. My feeling is if you like what you like, if you like what you like, it's what you like. And at the end of the day, yes, some folks, not all folks, and you can't put everybody in the same category, which a lot of us do that. But some folks do try to buy a certain car, wear certain clothes, do certain things to impress certain groups of folks. This midlife crisis thing, I don't understand it.
Well, let me just finish this. So my question is, what is a midlife crisis? And is there a certain way we are supposed to act as you or we get older? And let me just answer this. I think there is what is called a midlife crisis. There's a difference in a midlife crisis in being who you are, in a sense of not trying to. There's a difference. There are some people that are 50 and 60s. We talk about this on the show, that are grandmothers, and they're going out there trying to be 20 again. That's the difference. When I use the word 20, going out there talking that talk, getting down in the street like that with their granddaughters, doing some of these crazy dances that we graduated from. There is a sense of graduation. You understand? But then there's a difference between acting considered immature, in the sense not acting your age, and then like it and putting in it being tasteful. And that's the difference in a midlife crisis. I think a midlife crisis is that you don't want to embrace that you are getting older or that you are old. I hate to use the word you are old, because they say you as old as you think. But on the serious side, I think that it comes a time that there's a responsibility there, but that doesn't take away that you can't admire beautiful women. You understand what I'm saying? Or this is a new tool. So because our parents didn't do that, my parents don't. I'm older than my parents been when they died. Okay, so what I do now, my father never. Not that he would, he just didn't move like that. They move differently. So I'm different. So some of my family members that are older, that feel that they move a certain way, that's fine. But this is who I am. I keep telling some of my family, y'all don't really know who I am. You really don't even know my status in New York. You don't.
What,
and I don't sit there and talk about it. But I'm just saying that I'm not trying to be 25, but I'm still at the age that I am. I'm still youthful at heart. And that's why a lot of young folks gravitate towards that, because there's a sense of maturity and there's a sense of wisdom in my conversation, but they don't seem like I'm so many years isolated from them, and I kind of understand them. Everybody doesn't walk that path, and everybody doesn't have that ability to do that. Unfortunately, maybe I do, and that's what I'm going to do.
And Brother Fatim, I think you hit a deeper conversation of how folks, when they can't understand your life and your lifestyle, now all of a sudden they feel like what you're doing is not right. I think you're hitting a deeper conversation here, that if you drill deeper, it is people can't, you said people don't know your status, nor are you at the point that you want to explain your status, which you don't need to. I think you're at a place that you're really, if you drill deep into what you're saying, a lot of folks don't comprehend, understand, or even believe that you have access, and you do, and you speak to certain folks that you speak to and deal with. And here's why they don't believe it, because they don't believe it's happening, because they know they can't make it happen. So if you drill deeper into it, it's funny to you. It's not funny to you. It's funny to guys like us, because we do this. As you said earlier, and you kind of skimmed over that real quick, but let me go back to it. You said, how we move at Essence. And I will say this, as a person who has been in the Essence Music Festival of Culture for 30 years, since day one, I move the way I move because I have established relationships from day one. Brother Fatim is in, and people skim over this, WBLS 107.5 FM. I want y'all to think about this, because everybody has their local heroes in this city. We have people like Action Jackson. We have Stephanie Smallwood. We have local radio personalities that are literally heroes in this community. In this community, people speak highly of them. We have Vinny V. We have certain local radio personalities who have been on the air so long in this community. I used to be one of them until I got excommunicated out of the radio business here in this local area. Brother Fatim has been a part of the, listen to me, the #1 Black radio station in America. You talk about Dallas Cowboys being America's team. WBLS 107.5 and Hot 95
97.
are literally
97.
Hot 97. Yeah, Hot 97. See, I'm sorry. I don't keep up with the hip hop side. Hot 97 are literally America's Black source of radio on the R&B side and on the hip hop side. Don't nobody rock like them. Nobody. They are literally the Lakers. They are the Cowboys. They are whoever your big time #1 team is that you rah shish kebab for all the time. That's who they are. And they get the best of the best. This man has seen folks that some of you will never see unless you pay for a ticket to go see them perform. He has been up and close and personal to the point that some of them have begun to communicate with him on a friend level. It happens. It happens. Listen, when Ricky Smiley, I know Ricky, but I don't know Ricky like Fatim knows Ricky. And guess what? When Ricky saw us, Ricky spoke to me, hey, Joe, what's happening? But Fatim is that charismatic type brother. And yes, Fatim, you should continue to be who you are, regardless of how people look at it, say something, because only you can be you. And at the end of the day, don't change. I just posted. Hold on. What? Hold it. Let me pull this up. Brother Fatim, I'm going to flip it back to you while I find this. But I just posted something yesterday, and I want people to understand this. This is the problem. Too many of y'all want to change for folk because folk don't understand who you are. Let them keep not understanding. And you be you. And find the folks that rock with you because you are you. Let me find this. Go ahead, Brother Fatim.
Yeah, so and again, I'm not getting on my cousin because I told you I love her. I don't want to get it misconstrued at all. And I understood what she was saying, but you got to understand the dynamic of who I am. And, you know, there is a void in my life. I had a wife that was in my life for a long period of time. You understand? But now my kids are grown, she's deceased, and right now I'm not in a relationship. And if I did get in a relationship, I'm still not going to not appreciate women. I look at especially our sisters, women of color, Black women. I look at all women, excuse me, but especially our Black women, I look at y'all as artwork. I admire y'all. I don't gawk. I don't try to be disrespectful. At the end of the day, I don't like when women disrespect themselves. I don't really like that part, but you know, they have to govern their own self. But what I do is I admire. I admire the woman's body. I admire the woman's body with clothes on and without clothes on. You understand what I'm saying? It's a person I appreciate. I don't devalue you. I just don't look at you as a sex symbol. Even though there's sexy poses and sexy movements that you do in our place out there. I went to bed last night. I woke up like two or three. I had 100 hits. 100 hits on that video I put out last night. 100 hits within a few hours. And only one person liked it, but 100 views. I woke up this morning, 200 views. So what I put out there, people liked. And we know that. They just want to be undercover. I'm not an undercover brother. That's all I'm saying. I'm just real. And I'm not scared to say who I am at the end of the day. And I thought about it because I understand what my cousin is saying because that's what we do. She talks about the movers and shakers that I move with. Reverend Sharpton may not do what I do, but I'm not Reverend Sharpton. I'm not him. Even though I'm associated with him, I'm not him. And what my cousin is saying is you have to try to be careful because the people you are associated with, but then at the end of the day, I want those people to say, yo, You know, I tell you, man, I'm not gonna do what Fatin do, but Fatin, he walks down his own road. That's who I am. Because when I get into these rooms quietly with them, they be like, yo, that was a good video you put up here. You see what I'm saying?
Right,
So,
right, right.
So that's what, but I want to, before you read that, let me just read a couple of comments. Eddie Bonnet says the definition of a midlife crisis is a period of transition in life where someone struggles with their identity and self-confidence. Great, Eddie. He went on to say it happens anywhere from 40 years old to 60 years old and affects men and women. A midlife crisis is not a disorder, but is mainly psychological. Very good explanation, my brother. Laura Bell says, I've entered midlife crisis ages ago. It has very little effect on me. I've learned to accept getting older if it means pure experience. Rhonda Harrison says, sometimes we continue to take certain ideologies from Western culture. A lot of people use the term midlife crisis, which why not? Just be you and be happy. Not necessarily a crisis. A crisis to me mean you're in trouble somehow. And let me just say this. I was being funny when this, because I could have text back and say, so I gotta put up women now in house coats and dusters and bonnets and rollers sitting on the porch drinking lemonade. That's not Fatin. And I'm not gonna say that's not quite a good woman for me, but that's not my lifestyle. That's not gonna keep me interested. That's not who I am at this time. Maybe some years down the road, yeah, I'll fit into that. You know, that would be the horseshoe that I fit into that shoe with right now. But that's not who I am at this moment.
Well, I mean, and you don't have to defend who you are. Brother Marcus Allen put this up here, you know, and he said, my personal midlife transition, I like that, is not a midlife crisis. I'm just transitioning from raising kids as a day-to-day dad to grooming young adults as a single man, learning to live day-to-day for myself. I'm learning as I live and living as I learn. I have to give him a bell, and I have to read that one more again, family.
Let me read that. Let me read this. Let me read this. So my personal midlife transition is not a midlife crisis. I'm just transitioning from raising kids as a day-to-day dad to grooming young adults as a single man, learning to live day-to-day for myself. I'm learning as I live and living as I learn.
Okay, he read it. I was going to read it, but eventually he had a problem with the way I read it. So
you read it too slow. You read it too slow. Well, he was like, "Come on, Joe, get it, spit it out, spit it out. Come on, Grandpa. Come on, Papa Smurf, get it out, get it out, get it out."
And brother Fatim, how many times do you hear in South Carolinians say, you know, y'all New Yorkers should talk fast. So I just had to do that. So they got it. So hold it. They got it from the New York side, from everybody who loves the New Yorker style, and they got it from the Tennessee down south side, but everybody loves that. But at the end of the day, that was a worthy comment that needs to be liked, shared, and digested by individuals to have a better understanding. I posted up here something I posted, I think, yesterday. I said, don't change yourself to win someone's heart. Stay true, and you'll find someone who likes you for being you. The problem is too many of us try to adjust ourselves to be accepted by other folks. Just be you. Just be you. Just be you. Just be you. And I think when you get down deeper to the so-called midlife crisis, which is not a crisis, it's a transition. I say on this show constantly, there is evolution and there is extinction. You choose. And most of the time, the difference between evolution and extinction is one word or a combination of this word. It's either change, the ability to change, or the inability not to change. And normally when certain things don't change, they become extinct. Prime example, I was just telling somebody yesterday, if you look at malls, if you look at malls and shopping habits, because there has not been an apparent ability to change to the times, you're starting to see extinction. You're starting to see great big buildings that we used to go and frequently shop in become things of the past. It's either evolution or extinction. And family, many a times it comes from your ability between your ears for you to comprehend and understand that your ways have become archaic. And Brother Fatim brings that up a lot of times when we talk about how you perceive certain things that are being wrote out there by certain individuals in certain books. Regardless if that book is the Bible, regardless if that book is a book that you bought from Barnes and Noble about whatever, your ability to comprehend what you read and put that into play many a times brings your point of view to a place that either it is a point of view that is progressive, it is right on point for the time, or it's archaic. But at the end of the day, you read what you read, and you comprehended it the way you did. And we can't just sit here because you say something, especially on this podcast, from your level of comprehension, that we say, wait a minute, that's not really how we see it. Not saying how you see it is wrong. We just saying that's not how we see it. And maybe we both need to look at it from your point of view and our point of view, and somewhere figure out where it really is with everyone. Brother Fatim, you're not going through a midlife crisis. You might be going through a transition, but guess what? In evolution, you have to be constantly. I said you may be. The word may be. I don't know. You my friend. You my brother. You've been the way you are since I met you from day one. You know, I know how you was with your wife because I knew how you was when you were with your wife because I knew you when you were with your wife. So I can verify if anybody tries to check and say, was he really like that? He was very much like that. To be exact, that's how we became friends. We became friends because this man put on his wife on the phone and said, this man I have never met before prayed for you, prayed for us, prayed for me. And I did that from my heart. I didn't do that to garner this man's friend. I didn't even know Fatim. To be exact, me and Fatim had not had some of the best transactions because most of the times that I talked to Fatim, I was just had a white man that had his foot up my ass over the radio station not working right. And I'm butt hurt and calling Fatim going, what the hell are y'all doing? I don't want to drop y'all, but I'm going to have to drop y'all. We didn't have good conversations in the beginning.
But it was business. It was business. But let me just elevate on this because you just said, just be you. Just be you. Don't get caught up in just be you and not improve. Don't just get caught up in just being you and not looking at the mirror where you can improve. Now, this is where, because I know how my cousin can get sensitive sometimes, and she may not want to say that, but she can. This is where I give her credit because she is a wise sister and very wise when she was very young. She was wiser than her age because of experience and raised by my aunt. I understand something on the flip side. So I say, I notice I attract a lot more younger women. I also realize it's my presentation. Even though I'm a mover and a shaker and doing this, doing that, I do know I dress casual. And when I have to, I put on clothes that wherever I'm going, if I'm going to the White House, if I'm going to city government, if I'm going to a National Action Network event or whatever, or I'm doing a radio event that is, so I can do that. But then I said to myself, this fall, what I'm going to do is I'm going to upgrade a little bit. I'm going to put on a little bit more clothes that identify a little bit more with that mature look, where it will probably grab the attention of some older, not old, but older women than some of the women that are attracting. Because sometimes it's your presentation, not only how you carry yourself. You got to realize people observe from afar. They don't get a chance to talk with you. They don't know you. So sometimes their first impression is usually through a look. So I said to myself, okay, Fatim, what are you going to do this fall? I said, you know what? I'm going to step up and put in that find that road, that way I want to dress, but put a little bit of look maturity, a little bit of class, a little dab here there. You understand? It ain't gonna be suits and stuff like that, but it's gonna be a little bit more shoes, time to time. You understand what I'm saying? Instead of sneakers and casual and sweatsuits and stuff like that, because I want to see the difference in what do I get and how am I received at the end of the day. So I'm going to do that.
Is reality.
Yeah.
Listen, like with me, a lot of folks don't know, and folks who know me from my childhood days, they, like I said, a lot of this, and I use this word again, it's grooming, it's indoctrination, it's raising, or how you were raised. You know, I go back to this lady right here, and there's a reason why. You know, this lady wasn't able to have children of her own. She took the grave responsibility with her husband to adopt me. And I was her personal Ken doll. And I have been dressing the way I dress today since I was a child. To be exact, I have a picture along with some very nostalgic and old memorabilia from my childhood days of the first day that my adoption got finalized and they brought me to the Anderson household. And I am literally in a 3-piece white suit, standing in front of a gym set that they had ordered and put out by the house because they looked forward to me being in the swing and sliding down the slide. I mean, and guess what? And I still do that to this day. Right now, I have personal competitions with friends like the Bayou Classic. Everybody knows Bayou Classic. Me, a brother named Bell, a couple of other. We gonna be on them sidelines, and we gonna be suited and booted, and we gonna be super clean. And sometimes we compete against one another. We say, "Hey, man, let's see who comes out with the coldest look this year." You know, and it's fun. That's us. That's what we do. I don't change that for nobody. You know, Brother Fatim, I was with Brother Fatim in New Orleans for Essence, and we went to a store, and the first thing Brother Fatim said, "I'm buying this." And guess what I told him? I said, "You should. That's you." He saw the black Yankees. It was his number. It was his jersey. He said, "Man, I'm getting this." He said, "I'm gonna find a hat to go with it, the whole nine." I knew that was Brother Fatim. That's how I know Brother Fatim. I didn't sit there and go, "Brother, follow me to the suit store. What's wrong with you? This just does not look." No, I know who my brother is. I celebrate who he is. See, too many times folks want you to get into their box. No, sir. Them ain't your friends. They might be able to suggest to you, "Hey, brother, have you ever thought about?" But when they try to, "Oh, man, what are you doing?" Brother, please. I ran the streets of New Orleans no matter what Fatim had on. Hold it. Fatim was beside me in a suit, and I was beside him in his gear. And guess what? That's still my brother. That's still my friend. He has his style. I have mine. And we went through Essence and we raised holy hell. And folks were like, "Man, who them two dudes? Who them two dudes?" And they were coming to our table getting interviews. They were coming to our table when nobody else would go anywhere else. They would come and hook it up with us because we are who we are and continue being, Brother Fatim, who you are. Love you, man.
Appreciate it. Love you too, brother. Man. Let me just go to this because this is interesting. Timothy Melarson says,
he coming in. I'm getting ready to call Tim. Tim called us. I'm getting ready to call him back.
Single men will act single and married men will act married, and so on and so forth. Respect yourself and others at all times. Marcus Allen says, although we primarily speak about life transitioning socially, what we can't ignore is the biological and psychological transformation that take place during certain periods in life's journeys. Sometimes things do work, look, or do what they used to do. And I wanted to yeah, put
hold on, Tim. We're gonna be there. Hold it. We're gonna let Brother Fatim. I called you back. Hold on. Brother Fatim got something to say. Go on, brother.
So let me just say this: that what happens is you got to realize, because I had a big debate at home when it came to career day and when I had to go to my kid's school. I wanted to go casual, and Hanifa said, "I think you should put on something different. You should put on a suit." So we went back and forth. So I compromised. I put on a suit, but I didn't put on a tie. I had a knit shirt on under it. And what happens is we become actors for our children or for the young. And she was right. Sometimes we have to step up our game to show our children the other side of the world. So when I went in there, and it was so ironic because I told this story before. I went in there to talk radio, but there was a white gentleman in a suit and tie that taught electronics. So when I came to speak, I started to speak about electronics because I have an electrical engineering technology degree. I come out. I had a job offer to Bell Labs, which is Lucent companies today, one of the biggest technology companies in the world. So it was a bridge for our children. And then I got into radio. So sometimes we have to become actors for our children. I'm not raising little children now, but I'm around my little cousins. But at the end of the day, we have to realize that they are seeing and recording everything. Their minds are like sponges. So sometimes we can be who we are, but sometimes we have to step up our game to show that there is a transition in life, that you do things in a certain order. And with that being said, let's go to our caller.
All right, Tim, welcome to hashtag Truth Be Told. Question or comment, let's go.
Yeah, I just want to comment, man. You know, when the Brother Fatigue said was a midlife crisis, I would say, and this is my opinion, it'll never be a midlife crisis, bro, if I learn from my past mistakes. If I want to, you know, like I said, if a married man gonna act married, a single man can act single. But show respect to yourself and others at all times, bro. Meaning, like, I mean, all right, if I go somewhere with a single partner, and if he's doing things out of my ordinary for my marriage, I'm gonna just move around from him, right? Because I got a marriage. I got a marriage to protect, and I and a wife to respect. You know, I can't be what nobody else want me to be. Just like I was a drug dealer, man. And I begged and I cried and I asked God to take that from me. You know, it's just some things that we can't do that we used to do, man. You know, you either gonna be a man or a mouse. But my lifestyle ain't gotta fit yours. You ain't gotta like me for the things that I do. I mean, I'm not living for you. I'm living for God. I'm living for myself. I'm living for my wife, my kids, and my grandkids, bro. And if a man ain't got that, if a man ain't got no, like Brother Fatigue, his wife dead, I mean, and I feel him and I feel sorry for him, but the man got to live his life to what makes him happy, bro. You know, you gotta live to what makes you happy. And I know he's a respectable man, so I know he's not doing nothing out of the ordinary, bro. He's just living a life as a single man. You know, that's what we got. We can't live for nobody, man. I mean, if I decide to live for somebody, that means I'm not living.
Amen.
I'm not gonna live for nobody else. You know, I gotta live for me. I gotta live for God first. I gotta live for me, and I gotta live for my wife, my kids, and my grandkids, bro. Anybody else that my lifestyle bothered and I'm respecting myself, that's on your feelings. Keep your feelings and put your feelings in God, then you won't be worrying about mine. You know. That's all I have to say, man.
I had to put Brother Tim up there on the screen so y'all see who we talking to. Great brother, great friend. Great that you support this podcast, man, and we appreciate those words. You got any other words, Tim?
No, brother. I love y'all, and just keep doing what y'all doing, man. Y'all both some respectable brothers, and like and the scenario I gave is he's married. I mean, you married and he's not, and y'all still good friends, and y'all still kicking,
right? And
y'all respectable, brother. So it can work.
Yes, sir.
I can't be you. I can't be you, and you can't be me. And that's what I would tell my brother, Christopher Bernard, bro. You know, sometimes you get out, hey, bro, look, you can't do what I do. I can't do what you do. No matter what nobody thinks, man. Just keep doing what you're doing. That's with respect of yourself and everybody else. Long as you're respecting yourself and everybody else, man, the people going to have opinions. People going to have feelings. I can't stop that.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brother Tim Melancon, we thank you for calling in, Brother Tim. You can join in just like You can join in just like Brother Tim. You can give us a call at 225-250-8770, or you can click in and get into video. We welcome you. We ain't never scared. It's Turn Up Thursday, Turn Down for What? It's Friday Junior.
Where's Mashawn Baines at? Where's Mashawn at? I want to hear what she got to say about. Is there about a midlife crisis, and is there a certain way to act when you get older? And I'm not talking, yeah.
I was supposed to call somebody. Wait a minute. Because I was supposed to call somebody yesterday and I didn't. Let me call them back. And see, are they going to answer and get on? Because yesterday I was not able to get this person on and see what they want to say. Let's see. Can I get this person on the line? Hold on, because they wanted to call in. Hello. Hey, who am I speaking with?
This is Laura Bell from Atlanta, Georgia.
Hey, Miss Laura. Now, first of all, like I told you, I was going to publicly apologize because I did yesterday tell you I was going to call you back, Miss Bell. And I did not. We got caught up in the show. I told you, charge it to my head and not my heart. But today we are back, and I told you I was going to call you, and I was a man of my word. Today we're talking about, I'm pretty sure you're listening in, we're talking about midlife crisis or midlife transition, whatever you would like to call it. Because we don't want to call it a crisis because that means you're in trouble. And we're not in trouble because we're growing and getting older gracefully.
Some people are in trouble with a midlife crisis. If they are 55 or 60 and they are grandmother or almost a great grandmother nowadays, and you still getting out there and hanging out with your granddaughter out on the street acting a fool, that is a crisis. You are in trouble. Let me ask you
this, Brother Fatim, since you are a connoisseur of beautiful women, what have I showed you some women in their 60s and in their 70s that when you looked at their body and how they look and how they project themselves on social media, you might say to yourself, man, that's not she don't, that lady there, fine. And she can roll with the 30s, the 20s, and the 40s. So what would you say then?
So nothing to say on that. That's beautiful. I'm saying when you're 60 and acting 20 and acting foolish 20, that's the difference. I party. I was at the Elks Club. Some of those women that are in their 50s and 60s, they out there and they having a good time. And some of them look good. Some of them, you'll say they may not look 20, but they look late 30s. You understand? I met a young lady the other day. I was sitting next to her, Laura and Joe, at Chuck E. Cheese at my cousin's birthday party. And I really wouldn't give this woman conversation because I thought she was 16 or 17. So she said, my husband. I said, excuse me, your husband? She said, yeah, my husband. I said, no, you stop it. She said, I'm 32. What? 32? You look 16, 17. So there are women now, like Michael Basin used to say 15 years ago, the 50s is the new 40s. The 40s is the new 30s. So now women are in their 60s start to look better than some women that don't take care of themselves in their 30s or late 20s.
True.
So that's the difference. I'm older than my father. I don't look old. I don't look old like that generation. I don't move like that generation in the past. I don't move like that. So there are young women that look good, that look great like that, Joe. And there's nothing to say about them that if they respect themselves.
I'm going to do something I haven't did in a long time.
Conference?
Yeah, I'm going to have two callers on at the same time. So Laura Bell and Marcus Allen. I got Laura Bell and Marcus Allen both on the line. So first, let me introduce attorney extraordinaire. I got a lot of respect for this brother Marcus Allen, who is now on the line, and Sister Laura Bell. We still have you on the line from Atlanta. So let me start with the lady first, and then we'll go to Marcus. Laura Bell, speak your mind. Speak on it, sister. Speak on it.
Okay. I was just going to comment on what Brother Fatim had said. And, I just turned 62 about a couple of weeks ago.
Happy belated birthday.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you so much. And there's a lot of people who claim that, I don't even look my age. I try to act my age, more, in my age range. But like Brother Fatim says, there's a lot of us who are reaching our age and don't even feel it. There's a difference between acting your age and then acting childish just to hang with the today's kids or today's young people. I don't try to do that. As a matter of fact, what I try to do is just let them know I can be a fun-loving person, a kind person, but at the same time, I also want to be a person to be respected. And that's me. And see, when we reach that age, we don't want to lose that kind of respect just because we want to act young, especially as we reach an age in our life. And it's like Brother Fatim said also, as well as you, Brother Joe. midlife crisis doesn't have to be a crisis. It can be a way of life, a challenge in the next, chapter in your life. And that's how I see it. That's how I always see it. And I've seen it every time I'm with other people, around other people, especially children. And that's just me,
Okay.
I like what you
Thank
say.
Sister Bell.
Joe just put a picture up. Is that you, Laura? Is that picture that Joe just put up? Or can you see your screen? Is that you?
Is that a picture of me standing
Yes.
next to a tree?
Oh no,
No, it's a
I
picture
put
of
the one
breast.
with
It's
the
a breast
I don't
cancer
know who-
banner.
Right. Hold on. Let me see. Can I get the tree one? Hold on. I did get the one with the tree. Hold on. There we go. Hold
I
on.
had changed my profile picture and put vote up there 24.
So
No,
who's
wait a
that
minute. Who is
picture?
this? Who is this, Sister Laura? Who is this? Who is
Yeah,
this?
who's that
With
picture
the
with the breast
attacking breast-
cancer?
Attacking breast
cancer.
cancer. Who is this?
I don't know. I guess I did put that up there. I could have changed. I don't know.
That's not you?
That's not you? Is that not the younger you? Are you not telling us?
Is it one with her with a big smile on her face?
It
Yes.
is humongous.
Oh wow! I guess that's me then.
Ah.
Because I have several, profile pictures. of
Right.
me.
Okay.
Come on now. The younger Laura Bell, go on, sis. Go on. We were just trying to give you your flowers and
Hold
your
on.
compliments while we're good.
Hey, Joe, I'm gonna finish my. I'm killing my camera. I'm gonna finish my show from Atlanta. I'm on my way.
All right, well, tell your business. Brother Marcus, I know you out here, man. I know you out here. Brother Marcus,
Yeah,
welcome to
yes, I am.
hashtag Truth Be Told. Sister Bell, we thank you for calling in. Brother Marcus,
Thank
give us a
you.
question or a comment
you,
and tell
Laura.
us which direction you want to go. Brother Marcus, floor is yours.
First of all, good morning, Joe, and I thank you all for even having me and allowing me to come in and express this. I am on my way to court, but you were having such a good conversation this morning. I wanted to chime in personally, and I really wanted to expand the conversation, but not be too technical in it, and just share a couple of thoughts, because I'm at a point right now where I'm dealing, as I said, with life's transitions, and it's crazy because God told me that life is nothing but a day in time. The things that I used to could do in the early parts of the morning in my life, I can't do in the evening parts. You understand? The things I did at 2 o'clock, I can't do at 5 o'clock, man. And although we talk socially and we sit here and we say what it looks like physically, we have to deal with one of the biggest things for me is not socially. One of the biggest things with me is dealing with this thing biologically. When you look up and can't get hard no more, and now you're trying to find Viagra and Cialis and every damn thing else. When a woman looks in the mirror and her titties are hanging because they're not perky anymore, and they find themselves having now to compete with their 25-year-old daughter who's at the peak of her life. So there's a psychological aspect that has to be dealt with. There's a physical aspect that has to be talked about. Even right now, when we talk about psychological and just from a value system, the things that were important to me earlier in my life, Joe, they are just not that important anymore.
Come on, speak on that.
There are some things that were at the bottom of my priority list that are now at the top. I mean, even things you can sit down and listen to CNN. We listen to political things. We listen to those things. I try to talk to my son. They're not there yet.
Right.
But we have to think about it. When we weren't
there back in the day either. We weren't concerned about Reagan. We weren't concerned about Reagan, Carter, Nixon. We give less than a damn.
None of that. And now that we've gotten, I can tell you, I clearly looked at my life. I am right now between 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock. To be specific, I will be 58 next week. On the clock, that's 10 minutes to 6 o'clock, man. I am looking at 60 in the face. It's 10 minutes to 6.
Right.
And I can tell you right now, after raising them boys, going to Little League football games, going to marching band, going to Mardi Gras, man, I oftentimes find myself right now, Friday night, sitting at a football game. I ain't got no kids on the field.
Come on.
I don't have nobody cheering. But it has become such a habit in life of raising these boys that, like I said, when I step out to the essence, I really don't even know how to have fun for myself.
Come on.
So although I
Speak
say
on
it's
that.
not a crisis, it's not a crisis for me. It's me having to learn a new lifestyle.
And that's what I'm trying to do. And it's not easy because, again, we can't just look at it socially. We have to look at it physically, psychologically, and deal with these things and just live life. Because at the end of the day, the things I do at 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock, I won't be able to do them at 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock because it's going to be almost time to go to bed.
Wow,
God
brother.
knows, I just want to
Hey,
live.
hey,
I want to live
Let me-
this.
let me-
hey, brother
Let me-
Marcus,
let
I
me-
gotta put this picture up here while you
yeah,
talk.
let me
That's
just
my
say
man right there.
let
That's
me
my
just
man.
say this. Let me just say this to you, brother Marcus.
Yes, sir.
We get a lot of people that come on here with names and this, that, and other, and I appreciate what they do because they bring something. But this morning, brother, you took this to another level. And thank you, my brother, and being real, because that is real, because you're right. There's certain things that, I talk about when I get up now, my hips hurt, or I get up slower. And then
Right.
certain things that we could do at 25 with women and what women, because a lot of women in their late 30s or 40s are having breast lifts because, like you said, childbirth or child rearing and things like that. So, you may attract younger folks, but the realization, are you trying to settle down with a younger folk and can't do what you used to do?
Right.
Or you at the end of the day, so
Right.
you do find your lane depending on where you're moving in life. And you dropped the mic this morning. You said a mouthful, brother, and you elevated this conversation because there is the psychological, social, logical portion of this here that affects us. That really affects us here. So thank you, brother. It's not really much I can add or want to add to what you said because you dropped the mic on this morning. Thank you.
And let me give a quick shameless plug to brother Marcus. Family, if you are in my area, if you're not in my area, if you're in the great state of Louisiana and you're looking for a hell of an attorney, I call this man the people's champion. Holla at my man Marcus. Holla at my man Marcus. Marcus, I'll let you put your information out there, how they can get in touch with you, but holla at my man Marcus Allen, because he is an attorney extraordinaire, and he is the people's champion.
I'm just blessed, Joe. Joe, I appreciate all of that, and I'm just blessed. I don't even advertise because the steps of a righteous man are ordered. The people that I'm supposed to meet, I will meet. I don't even have to advertise, man. I just appreciate the opportunity to speak my mind and just share my thoughts. Because again, man, we all trying to travel through this thing called life, bro. And we can help each other by sharing information. And as I said earlier, I'm living as I learn, and I'm learning as I continue to live. So I thank all of you all.
So Marcus, before you go, I know you headed to court. Let me ask you this, man, because I know you had a son that was a part of the Human Jukebox, and you had another son that was a part of, what is Alcorn's band called? What is Alcorn? I forgot what the band was called.
Sounds of Dynamite.
Sounds of Dynamite. So you do know, not this weekend, but next weekend is homecoming on the Bluff as the Southern University Jaguars take on the Alcorn Braves. Are you gonna be in the building, man? If so, we need to sit down. I know your frat brothers. I know them Q's gonna be barbecuing strong on the yard.
Oh yeah, we will be in the house. Me and my sons will all be in the house sharing a good time, man.
So look, man, let's get together. Let's get together. Let's laugh for old time. I know I'm gonna have a cigar for you. I'm gonna make sure I got a Cubano waiting on you, man. Let's sit down and laugh on the yard and have some good times. How's that sound?
Absolutely. Hey, let's get a date. Let's make it intentional. Thank you all, and I'll be listening in and continue to do the good work, both of y'all.
Hey, thank you. That's my brother Marcus. Marcus Allen, lawyer extraordinaire. Thank you for calling in the hashtag Truth Be Told. Family, you can join in on the conversation just like them. 225-250-8770. As Brother Fatim says, this conversation has now been taken to a whole different level. Let go.
Yeah, well, honestly, it could be capped now. I think we discussed, and people got in. But I will send this message out to people, and I'm not trying to preach, I'm trying to teach. And this goes out to the young folks, we all were young. And some of us was young and dumb. And what I'm saying is what you do to your body in the beginning, it's going to catch up with you. So the reason why my hips hurt or my knees hurt, it's not just because I'm getting older. It's because I played ball. I played softball baseball. I played sports. I ran as a kid. Since I was 7 or 8, I've been hitting concrete, banging up knees, climbing things, falling down, riding mini bikes, tumbling on mini bikes in New York City, riding mini bikes. And it finally, it caught up with me. So that is just the wear and tear on my body. I'm talking about these young folks that are smoking. And I mean, they smoking this big. Before it used to be weed like this. Now it's weed like this. You know, you're smoking all this. You're smoking, you're drinking. I'm watching this. And the same with my parents. They drank, they did their thing.
Right.
That shit caught up with them. And what you
Right.
think now that you're young, fine, your hair is good, your nails are good, your body is tight. You understand? But that shit's gonna catch up with you, number one. And then number two, a lot of us that dealt with a little bit more natural stuff that didn't really get in the body and
Right.
really wreak havoc. And I'm telling you now, young folks, because I'm watching it, because I'm hearing it, because me and Victor on Tangy T, some of the things he sees, as he says, as a 42-year-old man, ain't nowhere in hell at 42 I would go through those things. I didn't go through those things at 42,
Right.
but I was more of an athlete. I didn't drink. I didn't smoke. You understand? I didn't do hard labor like that. I did labor, but I didn't do hard labor. You understand? So that's going to catch up with you. And then your mindset. It's your mindset. How do you move in life dealing with stresses and stuff? You got 2 and 3 and 4 baby mamas and it's not working. And you got those challenges. And then you from job to job and not getting the money that
Right.
you really need to help your children and help yourself. So I'm just telling you, get a better hold on your life. I'm telling you, there's nothing wrong with having fun. Fatine ain't saying that because I had my fun, but I got up and went to work. Didn't matter if I hung out to 5 in the morning. If I had to be to work at 8 o'clock, I was at 8 o'clock. I was half dead, but I came back home and went to bed 6 o'clock that afternoon, but I went to work. And I got that from my parents and uncle and aunt because they would have hangovers. And I see their ass mosey into the bathroom. They took their asses to work. You understand? Right. But I see young folks now, they're getting high, they call out, they're getting in relationships, they're getting fooled in a relationship. I can't work. I got to call out. Oh, I get to work. I can't put in the time. Got to walk off the job. That's what I'm saying. Where's the mental toughness? Where's the self-awareness of yourself? That's what I will try to teach and preach. Yeah, teach and preach to our young folks today, because I'm telling you, I'm going to tell you something that my father told me. You're not always going to remain young.
You know, Brother Fatine made a very, very awesome point and was hitting the nail on the head. First of all, the word that I use the most, and we use it here on hashtag Truth Be Told in our back conversations that you don't see when we get off the podcast, is this one word: consistency. Consistency is the real reason I have most of my health issues. 28 years I served this country as a soldier in the Army, as a military soldier. I was pushing them up, sitting them up, running, and then I got out and stopped. Wasn't consistent, but kept the same regimen of eating these humongous meals that I used to eat in the military. See, what I didn't know back in the military days, because I wasn't thinking, is that here I am eating, but I'm burning. So that's why if I put up one of my military pictures, a person came by my house and saw me in uniform in a picture and said, "Who's that guy?" I said, "Oh, that's me." "No, it can't be." I said, "Yeah, that's me." And he said, "What happened?" I said, I told the truth. I wasn't consistent. And I took for granted what I had been doing and was so happy to be free of the obligation and the forcefulness of doing it that I did not take that up on myself and my own for my own betterment and say, you know what, this was good for me. Because some things that you may be ordered to do, forced to do, told to do, made to do, might be the best thing for you. And many of us, because we were told to do it, forced to do it, ordered to do it, all of a sudden the day came that we didn't have to do it. And guess what? We said, the hell with that. Not knowing that there are some things that can be demanded upon you, that you have to meet that demand because of the position you're in or the job you hold or the organization you belong to, that's actually good for you. But too many times we try to get this state of independence that we say, the hell with that, I'm going to do it my way. Well, like I said, you're free to choose whatever you choose to do, but you're not free to make the consequences of your choices be the consequences you want. Those consequences have a mind of their own. That's all I got to say about that.
Got a
16
question.
minutes. 16 minutes after the hour. Let's go. Question
Got a
time. Let's go.
question. All right.
Let's go.
Because I don't like to exhaust the conversation. I like to move it on. So, because I like to get, what's up, brother Melvin? My man Melvin Gums is in here. New York Met fan, my man Melvin. What's up, baby? What's up, Melvin? You know what it is about. You know what it's about, my brother. He be at the games. That's another softball person that we play mostly against one another, but that's good, brother. What's up, my brother Melvin? We talked about this midlife crisis. I want to get more people in this conversation about, and the question I'm going to throw out now and see where it goes is, what do you regret in life that if you could do over, or know that you would be further in life? And I know it's we playing Monday morning quarterback with that question, and it can be kind of cliche-ish, but I think it's an honest, legit question. What do you regret? When I use the word regret, I mean really regret. And be honest. Be honest, because it's honestly looking at some bad decisions you made, or a decision you didn't make, that you would possibly be further in life. Possibly be further in life. And I'll tell you one of the things with me right now. I mean, it's so many. I mean, from nutrition, I wish I'd have ate better. But I think one of the things that, and I hate to put the materialistic thing on it, but I think I wish I'd have done better with money. Because if I'd have did better with money and investments and IRAs and stuff, things like that, I know I would be retired today. I look back at one of my cousins, female cousins, that retired at maybe about 55 years old. And, and she did it the right way from me looking from the outside in. And I think I made numerous mistakes. I mean, I got some things right. I'm blessed to have the two beautiful daughters that I have, but I look back at some of the things that I regret. But just to start, because I don't want to give a laundry list, let's start with one of those. For me, it's money decisions. I was not good with money. I didn't understand the value of money from the perspective of saving money, investing money, and putting money up for a rainy day. And I still feel the effects of not doing that. What about you, Joe?
I'm going to go down a rabbit hole that most folks don't want to go down. There are some relationships that I mishandled those relationships horribly. And looking back at my life from both sides, from how it affected me and how it affected the other person, be it male or female. These are not only relationships of love, but relationships of friendships. There have been some relationships I handled horribly, that I should have handled better. Looking back now, it's probably has made me the man I am and how I deal with certain relationships. That I there's times I kept my mouth closed when I should have looked the person in the eye and said, no. In my opinion, that's not it. And my being silenced made the person thought that I accepted what they were saying, doing, or how they were. Relationships is mine. Relationships.
And so some of the people in the chat, so Eddie Bonnet says, my biggest regret is not retiring from the military. I was so ready to get back to Louisiana that I didn't think about my future. However, had I not come back, I probably would not have the amazing wife and kids I have. KC said, I agree, Brother Fatine. Eddie Bonner says, second is not taking care of my financial issues when I was younger. Rhonda Hairston says, I think I would have had children later in life and invested more in myself. I think I would have had children later in life and invested more in myself and money, Brother Fatine. Yeah, those are some of the comments. Put the comments in there, please, folks. We
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
read
Put
your
them
comments
in. I can't.
out there.
My comment ticker went down. I can't see it as I normally see it, but I am looking at us on the live feed. And listen, family, just hey, say what you need to say. Some Dre B. Watson says, I regret not traveling sooner. Scared to go alone and wasted so much time waiting for people to go with me. Listen, we waste.
Wait, continue. Read it. Read the whole thing.
I can't see it all.
Oh,
So finish that up for me.
So let me handle that. I regret not traveling sooner, scared to go alone, and wasted so much time waiting for people to go with me. When I was getting ready to turn 50, single, no kids, I did a serious self-reflection. Stop putting your life on hold, waiting for people. Now I've been trying to play catch up, and I would have been further along with my bucket list. And you can never catch up, Sister Dre. You just have to do it and enjoy it as what you do. Can't cry over spilled milk. Can't drink spilled milk. But what you can do is you can pour you another glass of milk and keep it moving. And that's what you do, my sister.
You just said something that I laugh. I used to have an auntie, and I never caught it until maybe about 5 years ago. My auntie would say that, but my auntie had a twist on it. My auntie told me one time, and I remember once again, my one of the things I look at is relationships. Like Sister, I think it was Sister Rhonda Harrison talked about the children. My oldest son, who I love dearly, we grew up together with each other. My oldest son is about to retire. He'll be retiring here. He'll retire before me. I retire in 26, in July of 26. He retires in January of 26. If not, he may actually get out in 25. But I was so proud to see him improve and be better than me. You have to make the generation that comes after you better than you are. That shows that you did your job, in my opinion, as a parent, and that they listened and they did their job, because it's got to be both sides doing the job. But in this thing, as I was saying about relationships, one of the things that I just, time is something you can't go back and get back once it's gone. And sometimes, and Brother Fatim brings this up a lot, and we will have back and forth banter on it. But I'll just concede this. Sadly, a lot of us waste a lot of time on situations, circumstances, and people that after we done wasted years of time, some decades of time, we look back and say, I knew this was doomed from 6 months out. But it's like something in us says, I cannot lose. And I refuse to lose. So you stick and stay for decades and then find out that you really did lose because you lost so much time that you can never recoup. Just saying.
Got it. Another comment here. Eddie Bonnet says, on the marriage aspect, me and my wife jumped straight into bringing kids into the world that we never got a real chance to build our relationship up before becoming parents. And some people, again, I can't get in there because I see the pros and cons on both ends of having children early. And if everything goes well, when they get older and you put in the time, then you're a little younger where now they're grown and you can do more things and still have some youthfulness and still some life to you. But then there's some, like me, I didn't start having children. I didn't have children in my 20s. Not that I wasn't doing things that had children in the 20s, they just didn't happen. So when me and Hanifa had our 2 daughters, we're a little bit more seasoned vets. So for me, I got a chance to experiment and live my 20s out pretty much. And I had a great time at that. And then to see my children become adults at the age, because at 18, they move like 18-year-old young folks, but they wasn't 18 moving like 12. You understand? So we didn't have to put a lot of supervision, but we had to still watch because they still young adults, they still wasn't 21, but they, we just didn't have to put a lot into them at that time, So there's things, like I said, health. I think health, exercise, there's so many things that we look back at that we take for granted thinking
Right.
that the next day will be there for us. And a lot of us that are here today, the next day was here for us. We're here
Mm.
today and we're breathing, you know. And then there's some positive decisions that we have made, you know, in a sense of regret. But what are some positive decisions? Let's spend this a little bit. I'm glad that I met Hanifa. I am so glad that I met someone that even if I don't meet anyone like that, I was telling Joe this yesterday, I'm not looking for a clone. I don't think
Right.
and it's not fair to use Hanifa as that total barometer for the next person, because the next person may have some characteristics like her, but they're their own person. And if I try to put that person in or Hanifa into that person, then I lose the beauty of them, because I don't see all of them, because I'm trying to bring all of what I had with Hanifa. No, what I had with her was beautiful, and I will never ever forget it, and I never let go of it. But I also realized that when I meet someone and invest that into that person, I'm investing into them. And what the beauty I get out of them, if there's some similarities, beautiful. But if there's not, but they are beautiful flower, then I just had another, then I build a vase of beautiful flowers in my life. That's how I look at
Amen.
it.
Amen. Amen. For me, once again, I go back to this consistency thing. And I look back, and one of the positive things in my life is the 28 years of service in the military. Because I had multiple opportunities to say, you know what, I'm tired of this. You know, after being wounded in combat, man, I'm tired of this. After seeing friends of mine get wounded and in some transition through combat, through operations, through situations, man, I'm through with this. But I stuck in for 28 years, and I am now reaping the benefits of staying there for 28 years. And guess what? When you stick and stay, no matter what the situation is, when you stick and stay and you deal with the adversity, I will tell you this: in most situations, in most, not all, but in most situations, there is a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Right now, I'm blessed with some of the benefits that I did listen to my elders, because I did have elders. I had colonels and Colonel Hood. I would like to bring up. I would like to bring up Colonel Bourne. I would like to bring up General Honore. I would like to bring up at that time he was Colonel Powell. Colonel Colin Powell, who sit me down and looked me dead in the eye. I like to bring up Coach Eddie Robinson, who told me, brother, don't give up. You know, Coach Eddie Robinson said one of the most prolific things that will always stick in my head until the day I die. When I was trying to give up one of my collegiate journeys, he said, bro, we've been graduating Negroes long before you got here, and we'll be graduating Negroes long after you leave. So you can pout and get mad and pack up your little toys and leave, but you ain't changing this institution. This institution is what it is. Now get out my car and walk back to campus and think about it. You know, I'm thankful that I've had God to put some folk in my path that have literally woke me up. And I'm very grateful for the 28 years that I served in the military, though they weren't easy. There were many a times but I'm thankful that I made it to the end, and now I am reaping the benefits of it. So, you know, like you, I'm thankful. That's one of the things I'm thankful for. There's a lot of stuff. You know, I know folks are going to talk about their children, and you know, listen, I'm thankful for everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Because had it not been for all of that, I wouldn't be who I am today. But like I said, I am thankful that I stuck there, because so many times these days it's easy for folks not to stick and stay with a lot of stuff. Like you brought it up, so easy for folks to not to go to work on a consistent basis. You know, I've been in this media thing, even though I was in the military. I've been doing this media thing for years, and I'm glad that I stuck with it. Even so, sometimes I had to invest my own money. Like now, a lot of folks don't know this podcast, the digital radio. That's all my personal investment. That's not nobody else. That's not investors or friends, and it's me. Everything I do every day that we come up, I invest this. This is my own money. I invest in that, and I'm happy to do it because I love what I do. I love what I do. What's some of the comments saying of some of the things
So
that people
KC
feel
says,
like
I regret,
they for?
KC said, I regret spending 20 years with a narcissistic man. Laura Bell says, kind of responded to Casey, say not responding, but piggybacking off it and says, likewise, lucky for me, my relationship was cut short. Eddie Bonnet says, I agree with you. I am blessed to have married my wife and bring our kids into the world. I couldn't have chosen to have kids with a more amazing wife and mother. And meeting Eddie Bonnet's wife for just one time, you know, I was very impressed of her just through that brief conversation there. Rhonda Hairston was responding to, I regret about the spending years with KC says, Rhonda says, I got out after 5 years, pregnant with my baby son because of their father's mental illness. Not because of the illness, it was because I, at the time, didn't recognize or knew how to deal with that type of behavior. And then KC was responding to what Eddie said. She said, so beautiful. And then Rhonda said, congratulations on that. KC said also, I'm glad that you didn't waste a lot of time with him on that. Jewel Wall said, thank you, Joe Dupree Anderson with 3 hearts. And KC said, Rhonda Hairston, that's a rough situation. I'm glad you were able to get out. And like I said, I was in a relationship that was, when I use the word toxic with my first wife, I won't use the word toxic because it wasn't toxic. Because if I say it was toxic, it was something bad on both of our parts or one of us. I just think it was just a situation where she thought one thing, but when, like I said, when her child's father got locked up and her daughter was born, and then when he came out, she moved on. He physically moved on, but mentally didn't move on. And when you in it, when we in it, I'm looking bad at her. But as time started to go on, which helped me make my decision, I started to understand or understood what she was going through, even though it hurt. But the bottom line is, this was real. And the only thing, like I said, I just wasn't going to wait around for her to make a decision. And that's why, you know, we had to go our separate ways on that. But then I look back, it's you know, a lot of things that we say. That's why I say when it comes down to relationships, this like when we get in these relationships and we are in toxic relationships, and you know that you need to move on, but you don't mentally move on, then you still trapped in that relationship, even if you're not physically in it. That's why you gotta heal. That's why you gotta heal. Yeah, you can move on. You can move on. I'm not with this person, but if you mentally still yearn this person and think about the good times, and as time goes on, you don't think about it as much the bad times, you're trapped. That's why you gotta heal. That's why I keep saying that a lot of times we are affected by past relationships, which affect us now and affect us in the future of having a more healthy relationship. Sometimes we can meet somebody that can help you pull you out of that. But sometimes it's not their job to pull you out of that past. Sometimes people can help you, but it's not their job. And that's why some people get frustrated and be like, look, baby, I'm trying, but look, you got trauma. And if you're not willing to get help because I can't help you on this, you really shouldn't have moved on into this relationship. That's why I keep saying you can't continue to move on and separate from the relationship, but don't do nothing mentally to heal. You can physically heal from abuse, physical abuse, but you need to also heal from psychological, mental, and spiritual abuse as well.
Well, Brother Fatim, a lot of us don't want to admit to the following. None of us, none of us and most of us, there's a very few group of folks who will concede to the series of unfortunate incidents and contributions that they made to the demise of the relationship that went awry. Many a times we won't concede to our own stubbornness, our own lack of empathy, our own lack of love in the situation. Because I have discovered that when you really love a thing, you're willing to make some adjustments. And some of us won't admit to the truthfulness that the reason the relationship went to the left and did not go good is because We lacked love, empathy, and the ability to make the adjustments to make it work. For some odd reason, we just didn't care enough about the situation, the relationship, or the person to make the adjustments that needed to be made to make the relationship work. Because if you go back and review most of your relationships that went awry, you'll probably say the following: if I had only did this, this would not have went the way it went. And we don't want to admit to that. All we want to do is point fingers at the other person and say, this is what they did. This is what they did. This is what they did. You never want to admit to yourself, I had a part and a role to play in this going the wrong way. And you never want to talk about your part, your role, or what you could have done better, but you have all the time the reason to point that finger and say, they did this, they did this, they did this, they did this. And the truth about it matter is no relationship that consists of two people on both sides of the equation went completely crazy. Now, some did. Some may
did.
have.
Yeah,
some,
yeah. I know where you going, because you know I'm gonna jump in on you on that one.
Some did, but not all.
That's
and
right.
most of us, if we will really be honest, and the reason we won't be honest is because guess what that means? Now you got to take accountability and responsibility for what you did to make this thing go wrong. And you don't want to do that because you want to be the victim and not the villain. You want to be the victim. You want folks to say, look at you, poor you. But you never want folks to look at you and say, you know what? You're not Batman, you the Joker. You the one that started all this chaos and confusion, and you set Gotham on fire.
And sometimes we are attracted to a little toxicity. And what do I mean? So for me, when I look back at this, I was not growing up, I was not a street guy. I was not a street guy per se. I knew the street brothers. I learned to get the respect. I rolled with people that had that respect, that were movers and shakers, like not only in my community, but go outside the community. One brother, I throw his name up right now, Byron Miller. Byron Miller was respected and feared by a lot of people in Brooklyn, in the borough of Brooklyn, you know. And this is somebody I grew up with. I mean, my father associated with his father. My mother knew his mother, you know what I'm saying? And we grew up, you know, right around the corner from one another. And he's had to help. It's the same brother when my bike was getting stolen. These guys tried to take my bike. He came, and I brought this up before. But for me, not being that person, for some reason, I was attracted to the bad girl. You hear the opposite, the female being attracted to the bad boy. Well, for me, and I had to think about that. Why? Because my mother wasn't a bad girl, but she moved in her own way. My aunt had her own way. She was like that Rolling Stone. You understand? So I've seen, and then my cousin I brought up in this show, she wasn't a bad girl, but she had the respect of the streets. She had the respect of the streets, and she had the respect of the family. You understand what I'm saying? People respected my cousin because who she was and how she commanded and demanded respect. And if she needed to dump, she could dump. You understand what I'm saying? So for me, I started to get attracted to the bad girl. But for me, when I would deal with them, I had to deal with the baggage they brought to the table. And not to say my first wife was a bad girl, but she had some street in her, and she was more sophisticated from the street level than I was. My ego wouldn't want to admit that back then, but it was true. That's the reality. She went down some roads. This is no knock against her at all. She went down some roads that I just didn't go down at that particular time. You understand? So after that didn't work, I said, you know what? Let me go into somebody who is more militant / conscious. You understand? It didn't have to be somebody that was Muslim or whatever, you know, because at the end of the day, I was starting to question certain things with Islam at that time as well. So it had to be a sister that had more conscious about herself, wanted to do more things naturally about herself, and not just be of the world. Because I can't stand a woman that is just of the world. I can't just stand that fake this, fake that, fake this. I don't mind enhance this, enhance that. But if everything is fake, I don't want to be, because then you fake. You understand? Where's the real person under there? You understand? So then when I went to meet that person, Hanifa was there. And I met someone that, that I said, I didn't really want to deal with somebody from a Southern background. But she was raised in New York with Southern parents like mine, like me. You understand? So it comes down to, but we all are attracted. Some people are attracted to somebody who has a little bit more boisterous about them, a little bit more swag in them. And then some people are attracted to people who are a little bit more reserved, introvert, So there's different things that attract us to different people. And then as we go through life, that's why I said I dated, because when I dated different personalities, different women with different personalities. And it got a chance for me to see how I interact and what I liked and what I didn't like. And that helped shape who I am even to today.
It is 19 minutes to the top of the hour. Welcome to hashtag Truth Be Told as we broadcast live on YouTube, on Instagram, and on Facebook. Brother Fatim brought up some very interesting things. I always ask myself, do sometimes because of our preferences, we limit ourselves to life experiences with wonderful people? Brother Fatim said he never wanted somebody from the South or with Southern. I didn't get the whole thing, and I don't want to misquote him. But at the end of the day, he said he had a certain preference. And does that preference make it that you literally eliminate certain folks who could have been wonderful people in your life to have wonderful experiences with? And I will truly say that I have, in many a times, due to my upbringing, my rearing, and what was put in me, have sometimes literally put up a wall to great folks. And once again, this thing called life be lifing. And brother Marcus Allen put up a comment that I think is very noteworthy, very binge worthy, very repost worthy. And I'm going to see, can I find it, since my ticker went down? And I'm going to put it back up there because what he said was awesome, and it's down. Because it's down, I can't find it. It was awesome. It was awesome about, we're going through transitions. And in this thing called life, you're going to go through many changes and transitions. And how you handle those changes and transition will probably determine where you wind up at later in life. Because Brother Fatim said it very clearly earlier, you won't be young always. And what you do now, listen to anyone out there that is young, that may be plugged in or may review this podcast. What you do now, I can testify from my own life experiences, matters later. If you take anything from me today, take that what you do now, the decisions you make today, they will matter later. Choose wisely, Brother Fatim.
You said something that I wanted to go, because I thought of KC about something, and I got it. So a lot of us, that, as Brother Marcus was saying, that you do come to that midlife crisis. And when I use that word, that midlife crisis, is the crisis that you start to experience the things that you can't do no more physically. And me and Kate, and the reason why I brought up KC name, because we was having a conversation about that how we start to see certain things, or the imperfections, or the things that we could cover up, that are imperfections when we were younger, that now we can't cover up. And when you can't cover them up, sometimes you don't want to move on with someone. You rather be single, because you look at some of those perfections as a quote unquote liability in the relationship. How would the other person look at me? Does the other person look at me or be scared away that maybe that I got to put more in to help take care of this person? So a lot of times people be like, you know what? This is going on. That's going on with me. I may not be the best candidate like I used to. I'm happy just by myself. And that's some of the reasons why some people are by themselves till they meet somebody that is more compassionate, can be empathetic, not just sympathetic, but empathetic, because they're also going through some things, and you come together. You understand? But that's another reason why a lot of people that get a little older and have things that are going on with them. Some people, I talk about that. Marcus talk about where he just was raw with it. You ain't getting hard no more. You got to take Viagra and whatever. But there are some women who just lose the whole feeling for sex. And they know that I've talked to a young lady who's 42, 43, and she said, I can take it or leave it. I don't really want to do it. And I said, does it do with your partner? She said, no. It's just that I don't feel it. So at the end of the day, you know, why put yourself in a situation where you know that if I get with somebody that my age or even slightly or a little older and their libido is here, then you are in the back of your head, well, if I'm not willing to do it and don't want to do it, or I'm forcing myself to do it, I'm telling you, you can't fake the funk. And when you can't fake the funk, because when you lay down with somebody just to do it and you don't get wet, it ain't going to work. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why a lot of people say, you know what? I just rather be by myself because it brings more peace to me. And that's why a lot of people older would take peace and be alone, because they know the difference than having someone and not having peace and a quality of life. They'll be like, you know what? I did this. I raised my kids. I got my kids or whatever. I don't need the headache. I'd rather just have peace. And I would like to hear from what people have to say on that, you know.
Well, let's see what they say in the chat, but I think it goes back, and I hate to go here because people say, well, you're trying to be biblical or you're trying to be religious. But that's why I think you have to be with folks that you're equally yoked with. You can't, sometimes you have to say to yourself, me and this person, as much as my eyes.
Two handicapped people may not be the best thing, Joe. That's two people that are yoked. Two people.
No. When I say that from this perspective. Even though my eyes may be attracted to this individual, as you say, it's more to it than just the optics. See, like you said, if my libido is at one place and optically the person I'm looking at looks attractive to me, but their libido is absolutely zero. Now my optics has fooled me because I'm looking at a person and go, oh, she looked like she really into it all the time. But then when I get into conversation with her, guess what? Sex don't mean nothing to her. So now I'm with somebody who, here I am wanting to have sex daily. They don't want to have sex at all. And like you said, we can't fake the funk. And many a times that's our problem. We allow our eyes, our feelings, our senses and emotion to get us in situation with individuals who are not same-minded as we are. You're here you are because your eyes say, ooh, she looked like she want it. She looked like she, or he looked like he do it. And then when you get with them and get to know them, you come to find out that this person might be a book nerd, that what turns them on is reading books, not laying down with a person. And you go, well, wait a minute, you shredded up, brother. You six-pack, yeah, I do that for my health, not to attract people sexually. That's the problem. That's the problem right there.
Yeah.
In my opinion. What are they saying in the chat?
Jessica Dewberry says, I prefer in the South because they seem to be more marriage and family minded. Had I grew up down here, I would have been married a long time ago. Which he meant, I prefer men from the South. She just made that correction. Casey was agreeing with me when I brought up about the liabilities when you have these certain things that as you get older. She said, absolutely, Brother Fatigue. Jessica Dewberry comes back and say, and why Jessica being in the chat, she should be okay. She should be okay with this hurricane dealing with, Milton. So hopefully everything is well for you.
I think she's in Tallahassee. You're in Tallahassee, right, Jessica?
So
because I know I said I was going to see you soon. Yeah, go ahead.
So Jessica says, but I would never marry someone just for the sake of marrying them or being married. I can do and have done bad all by myself. Eddie Bonnet says, those imperfections that you can't cover up no more. I love it. I think I'll use that for a sermon, Brother Fatigue, and I'll send you the offering. I collect it. I try to get people to think, my brother, I don't like this to come on here and talk politics when we ain't got nothing to talk about. I try to think and throw things out here that makes us think and make y'all jump in the chat. That's what I like to do. Rhonda Hairston says, like brother Fatim, I too was attracted to others that had issues, only learned later on that I had a part to play in that. I had to just learn to say no, not anymore. And that was right for me. I don't tolerate some things, lying, etc. Not perfect myself. Rhonda comes back. Yes, brother Fatim, peace is the name of the game. Truth spoken. Jessica Dewberry come back and say, I couldn't be in a relationship right now with my responsibilities. But if things were different, I would love to be in a relationship with a good, God-fearing man. And Jessica, I got a question for you. I got a question. Just let me know. That was your sister I met in Harlem. Is your sister married? That's my question.
And Jessica, while you answering that question, I need to make sure, yes, she is in Tallahassee and she is fine. I'm glad of that. I'll be seeing you when Southern shows up. I'm going to make sure. I'm going to take time out. I'm definitely we're going to see. I don't know. Are you coming to the game? That's the question. Are you coming to the game on Florida A&M's campus when Florida A&M plays the Southern University Jaguars? But I'm going to definitely try to run into Sister Jessica when I go to FAMU and watch the Rattlers and the Jaguars go at it.
Yep. Thank you, Jessica. Jessica responded to me. She said, yes, and that was my sister. And no, she is single and ready to mingle.
Okay. Sound like somebody about to strike.
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying?
Now that's a FAMU. That's a FAMU call. That's a FAMU call.
See what I'm saying?
So 8 minutes, because you the ladies. 8 minutes, y'all. 8 minutes to the top of the hour. Great, man. This turn up Thursday, turn down for what? Friday. Junior was off the chain. Family, tell a friend to tell a friend. Share this with a friend. Hashtag truth be told. Yours truly, Joe Dupree from 100 BLK to Black Station. My brother from another mother, brother Fatim from the open line, online, and keeping it real with Reverend Al Sharpton, 107.5 WBLS, New York City. And of course, our other part to the puzzle, Sister Jax, who is recovering. She'll be back soon. Man, not only are we a few days from an election, we are a few days from a new year. It's going to be 2025 before you know it. Just think about that, family. Let me act like the Jamaican King Willie on Predator 2. As you get ready for the holiday season and for the new year, prepare yourself. Prepare yourself. Because guess what? You can't stop this time. This time going to keep on rolling. I'm getting ready to go into some closing comments, but before I do, this has nothing to do with the closing comments. This just has to do with how I feel. Over 3 million people with no power in the state of Florida. Hurricane Milton raised complete devastation and destruction throughout that state. My prayers, my thoughts. I have friends that are deploying right now to Florida. I have been asked also to go to Florida and to work and help out. I, unfortunately, due to other obligations and responsibilities, I'm not going to take that assignment. I just don't want to go into another ravaged area and deal with the recovery efforts. I will be helping from where I'm at and doing some things to work with folks from the resources that I have available to me and through the jobs that I do to help. But I won't be boots on ground, not this one. There is another storm coming. Milton has came and gone. Nadine is on her way. As I said earlier, not to make no pun or no joke about it. King Willie said it best in Predator 2. Prepare yourself. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. With that being said, 5 minutes to the top of the hour, man. Great show today. Brother Fatim, give me some closing words and let's get ready to get up out here. Give it to me, brother.
You could keep, you like to do solo, but you could have kept this as just me and you. But let me just say, I love my cousin. Thank you. I'll reserve her name. I have to ask her. She don't mind. I use it sometime, but I thank her for the comment last night. Made me think. And I put it out there. And I answered your comment today. But thank you, because that's what we do. We family. And we approach one another. We don't talk behind each other back. We put it in the front. That's that. She's always been a leader and a teacher, but I've come into my own, and I'm my own man as well. But that's what we do. We look out for one another. So I thank my cousin for that comment and for this conversation today, not knowing that I was going to bring this up. So let me just thanks for everybody for tuning in to #TruthBeTold. And remember, a midlife crisis doesn't have to be a negative turning point. It can be an opportunity for growth, reflection, and renewal. As we get older, it's important to embrace maturity, but also to stay young at heart. Let's strive to carry our wisdom with grace while keeping our spirit alive and adventurous. Life is a journey, and no matter where we are on that path, we have the power to define what it looks like. So live boldly, love deeply, and keep that youthful energy alive in everything you do. Until next time, stay true, stay strong, and stay blessed, Brother Fatim.
That's my brother from another mother. So on the behalf of him, Brother Fatim, myself, Sister Jax, all the folks in the chat, all the folks that are watching, viewing worldwide, we appreciate you. Be better today. Be better today than you were yesterday. And do something today to be a blessing to someone, somewhere, somehow, that no matter what you do, there's no earthly way they could ever pay you back. And remember this, that there is no secret, absolutely no secret, what God can do, what he has done for others, he will and he can do for you. For when God is with you, nothing or no one can stand against you. Tomorrow is Freedom and Fun Friday, and he that the Son sets free is free indeed. And Lord's willing, we'll be back on there. Our hearts, our prayers go out to everyone who has been affected by the storm that just went through, by the storm that was before that, and anybody who may be recovering from anything. We want you to be whole, healthy, free, and able to live your best life. Y'all be blessed. Have a good one. #TruthBeTold. We up out of here. Peace.
Mm-hmm.